Chapter 17. Back to the Real World. The sun hadn't fully risen yet when Andrew announced,
Time to go back home.
Kai, half crumpled on the sofa, rubbed his eyes sleepily. Are you sure?
Derek confirmed. The apartment is safe. The police did a sweep, and my team will keep monitoring the building for the next few days.
And you? Are you going to disappear now that the technical job is done? Andrew approached and pulled Kai by the waist, pressing his body against his.
I said my job is to protect you. It's not over. And if your father has his way, I'll still have a good time on the contract.
He really won't let you go anytime soon, huh? Andrew gave a crooked smile.
He wants guarantees. And I like the idea of being one of them.
Kai's apartment felt smaller when they walked in, or maybe it was just fuller of meaning now. The suitcases thrown aside, the muffled sound of the city outside, and inside, that comfortable silence of those who know they can breathe. Kai went straight to the sofa, flopping down with a deep sigh. Home. Finally. Andrew watched him from the doorway, arms crossed, a slight smile on his face.
That sounds like an invitation.
Does it? Kai turned his face with that look that was half teasing, half dangerous.
Definitely.
Andrew locked the door behind him, dropped his coat, and went to him. Kai grabbed him by the shirt before he could say a word. I was thinking we could celebrate, properly.
You want to celebrate your return home?
I want to celebrate that you're here, that I'm here, that we survived. Andrew lowered himself slowly, as if every movement was a prelude to what he was about to do.
Then come here. Show me how happy you are about that.
And Kai did. The living room became a scene of slow kisses, eager hands, and muffled laughter between messy cushions. Neither seemed willing to rush anything. It wasn't like at the hideout, in the middle of fear. Here, it was just desire, pure and free. Later, when the world seemed calm again and they were tangled up on the sofa, Kai picked up his phone to answer a call. It was his father.
Yes, Dad, we're fine. We came back to the apartment today. Yes, Andrew is still with me. He also thinks it's better to keep security for a few more days. No, we're not up to anything,
He said, with a teasing glance at Andrew, who was nibbling lightly on his shoulder.
At least, nothing illegal.
After he hung up, he turned back into Andrew's arms.
How long do you think we'll have to stay on this alert mode?
Based on the latest updates, another day or two. The investigation has already dismantled most of Reed's schemes. He's been arrested. Some serious flaws in his structure have come to light. Most of his men are either arrested or being tracked.
And now, what are our next steps?
Ours? Andrew pulled him closer, gently stroking his bare back. Our next steps are pretty clear. You keep being taken care of by me, and you obey.
That still sounds like a domination plan,
It is.
Andrew whispered with a smile.
I protect, you obey.
And if I'm disobedient? Andrew leaned in, almost brushing his lips against Kai's.
Then I'll have to keep putting you in line.
Kai chuckled low, teasing, running his fingers along Andrew's abdomen. You really take this job seriously.
It's not a job, it's you.
And with that, their plans were suspended once again. Because Kai kissed him like that, the kind of kiss that made any security protocol turn to smoke.
Chapter 18. 3 months later. New normal.
The cafe where Kai worked part-time had become one of his favorite places. Andrew always sat at the same table, the one with the best view of the entrance and the counter where Kai prepared orders, pretending to read reports while discreetly observing the activity.
You know you don't have to stay here all the time anymore,
Kai said, approaching the table with 2 cups of coffee during his break.
The threat is over, remember?
I know, Andrew replied, accepting the coffee. But I've discovered I like watching you work. You get that focused expression when you're making the more complicated drinks.
The same expression you said you like when I'm reading?
Exactly the same. Kai sat beside him, enjoying the few minutes of pause.
You know, there's one thing I never asked you.
What?
When you were secretly protecting me, when did you realize you cared about me beyond just the professional duty?
Andrew thought for a moment. Remember the time you got sick and missed classes for 2 days?
Yeah, terrible flu.
I stayed outside your dorm all night, worried. Not because it was my job, but because the thought of you suffering alone made me uneasy. That's when I realized I'd crossed the line.
And you don't regret it? Andrew gently touched Kai's face.
Best decision I've ever made in my life.
Even if it made your job harder?
Especially because it made my job harder, Andrew smiled. Because it forced me to find a balance between being good at what I do and being happy with who I am. Kai intertwined his fingers with Andrew's.
And have you found that balance?
I'm still learning, but with a very patient teacher.
Patient teacher? Kai laughed. I've spent 3 months thinking I had a stalker and another 2 trying to convince you feelings aren't a professional weakness.
Exactly. Very patient.
Kai shook his head, feigning indignation. You're complicated,
And you're irresistible.
Andrew replied, in that low tone he only used when they were very close and the whole world seemed far away. Are you coming over to my place after your shift? Kai asked, teasing. My apartment. Tiny, but cozy, and one you know very well.
Yeah?
And, he asked with a hint of irony, there's a bed with clean sheets, a playlist with your name on it, and a fridge with white wine waiting.
That sounds like a dangerous and tempting invitation.
Kai smiled, that crooked grin Andrew had learned to both fear and desire in equal measure. It is. Besides, I miss seeing you without that shirt.
Andrew raised an eyebrow. That direct?
Proportional to how much I like being with you. Andrew took his hand again, squeezing it lightly.
Then I guess I'll be coming over after all.
Uh-huh. I won't accept less than that. Kai stood up with the cup in his hands and winked before returning to the counter. Boyfriend, he teased, walking away. Andrew didn't reply. He just followed him with his eyes, and with his mind already several steps ahead, counting the hours until the end of the shift.
Chapter 19, 6 months later, Perspectives.
In the months following the end of the threat, Kai and Andrew went through a different kind of adjustment. Not one of running or hiding, but one of choosing to stay. Over time, the idea of keeping separate spaces began to lose meaning. They shared a drawer, then a closet, then the rest of their lives. The apartment was now theirs, not a temporary refuge, but a home. With plants, Kai insisted on caring for, and Andrew on forgetting to water, too many books stacked in corners, and 2 pairs of headphones lost on every sofa.
Andrew had officially left his job as Kai's personal security guard after 4 months, long enough for Kai's father to be convinced there were no more dangers, and for Andrew to be convinced he could protect the one he loved without sacrificing his ability to love him. That night, Kai watched Andrew cook, a scene that had become his favorite part of their routine.
You know, seeing you in an apron distracts me more than any complicated drink at work,
Kai teased, leaning on the counter with his chin resting on his hands. Andrew gave a sideways glance without stopping stirring the pot.
Is that a pickup line or a threat?
Depends.
Kai replied, raising an eyebrow.
Are you going to finish cooking, or do you want me to distract you?
Andrew approached, holding the spoon still dripping sauce and lifting Kai's chin with his other hand. Distract me and dinner burns.
Sacrifices.
Already trying to make up for those nights I had to leave at dawn for last-minute meetings? Kai smiled, sliding his fingers under the hem of Andrew's shirt.
I'm trying to remind you that even with this new serious corporate job, you're still mine.
Andrew bit his lower lip, his gaze darkening. I have always been yours. The atmosphere thickened for a few seconds until a snap from the pot brought Andrew back. Damn, the sauce. Kai laughed, stepping back, but not before slowly running his hand down Andrew's back.
Come on, chef. Since you have normal hours now at your serious new job, take advantage and impress your boyfriend.
Andrew grabbed the spoon again with agility. Impressing you has become my main job. While he finished dinner, Kai leaned against the kitchen frame, watching him with a smile that mixed peace and desire. After a few minutes, he asked,
Did you talk to the folks at the company today?
I did. The proposal, that idea of opening a branch in another state, is still on the table. Maybe even stronger than before.
Kai nodded slowly, suddenly serious. And you? Are you still considering it?
It wouldn't make sense to go if you weren't coming with me.
Kai walked up to him again, but this time his look was firm. Then ask me properly.
Andrew turned, still holding the dish towel. What?
If this is really what you want, make me the request the right way.
Andrew smiled, that smile that still made Kai melt. I'm proposing that wherever I go, I want you to go too. And wherever you go, I want to go with you as well.
Even if that means another state?
Even if it means Mars.
Kai pulled Andrew by the collar of his shirt and kissed him. Sounds perfect. Chapter 20, Preparations. Kai's graduation had taken place the previous weekend. A simple ceremony, but enough to make Andrew feel proud, almost like a father's pride, while at the same time admiring him as a devoted boyfriend. Kai, wearing his gown and holding his diploma, had eyes only for him in the audience. And now, just a few days later, they were surrounded by boxes, packing tape, clothes tossed in open suitcases, and half-disassembled furniture. Andrew already had everything ready to open the new branch of the security company in the other state. The office, the contracts, even the apartment for the two of them was already chosen. But he waited for Kai to finish college, to close that chapter with his feet firmly on the ground before taking the next leap. And now, it was time.
I can't believe you packed all the books and just left the headphones loose like that, Kai said, rummaging through the couch for the 5th time.
Priorities, Andrew replied, lifting another sealed box. Books are rare. Headphones we'll buy on the way. Kai rolled his eyes and collapsed onto a mattress already stripped of sheets, breathless, hair tousled, a trace of sweat on his forehead.
I'm exhausted.
That's because you insisted on doing everything in one day, Andrew said, approaching with a smile, and refused my idea to hire professional help.
And missed the chance to see you carrying boxes in that tight shirt? No way.
Andrew laughed, kneeling beside the mattress. You use me.
Constantly.
Kai whispered, pulling him by the collar. The kiss came hot, loaded with memories and expectations. It wasn't just saying goodbye to that apartment. It was a ritual, a silent spell marking the end of a phase. Andrew's body fell naturally over Kai's, both already used to the weight and the fit. We still have to take apart the bookshelf, Andrew murmured between kisses.
That can wait.
Kai wrapped his legs around Andrew's waist, pulling him closer, his look provocative, hungry.
I want to say goodbye to our little corner, the way we like it.
Andrew stared at him for a second, with that look that burned without asking permission. It's going to be hard to leave this bed behind.
We'll have a new one.
Kai said, breathless, hands roaming Andrew's back.
All ready for us to break in.
The rest of the words were lost among urgent kisses and familiar touches. It was the last moment there, and they made sure to fill it with everything they knew how to do best. Love each other as if the whole world fit within those 4 walls. Later, wrapped in each other on the bare mattress, among boxes and suitcases, Kai whispered,
I'm ready.
For what?
To start this new life with you, wherever it may be.
Andrew smiled against his neck, holding him tighter in his arms.
And let's make every kilometer to our new little place count. Epilogue. There's Alone. New city. 1 year later.
The soft morning light filtered through the bedroom window, warming the still unmade sheets. The apartment, now definitely theirs, bore traces of the previous night. A shirt tossed near the sofa, a forgotten cup on the counter, and 2 empty glasses on the balcony table. Andrew trailed his fingers over Kai's bare skin, who was still lying on his side, eyes half open, hair tousled, and a lazy little smile on his lips.
You're gonna be late.
Kai murmured, without much conviction. I'm already late, Andrew replied, kissing the nape of his neck with intent. But I can't get out of bed while you're like this, tempting the universe.
I'm just breathing.
Kai teased, arching his hips slightly just to feel Andrew's hands grip his waist tighter. Exactly. It's unbearable. Andrew slid over him effortlessly, as if that body were a territory he already knew by heart, but insisted on exploring with the same hunger as on the first day. Kai gasped, softly, hands climbing Andrew's back, short nails lightly scratching his warm skin. There was no rush between them, only the raw intensity of those who had passed through the storm and survived. Long kisses, broken breaths, closed eyes as if the outside world had ceased to exist. And for a time it truly had. When Andrew finally sat on the edge of the bed to dress, Kai was still sprawled between the sheets, hair messy and body marked by the hours before.
Don't look at me like that, Andrew said, throwing his tie carelessly around his neck. Or I might stay. Kai laughed, pulling the sheet to partially cover his waist.
Go, save the corporate world. I'll meet you later at the office.
Andrew leaned in and gave him a kiss, calm but full of promise. See you soon, patient teacher.
And I'll see you soon, ex-stalker and amazing ex-bodyguard.
Andrew left with one last look at the delicious chaos they had left around the room. When the door closed, Kai sighed deeply, feeling in his chest not just the desire still humming on his skin, but a strange and powerful peace. They were exactly where they were meant to be.
2 hours later, Kai entered the office unannounced. Andrew was facing away, focused on the monitor, and only noticed him when the smell of coffee filled the room before the sound of footsteps.
I thought you were coming after lunch,
Andrew said, still without turning. I was, but something happened.
He turned. Kai was standing there, holding 2 cups of coffee and that smile that preceded either mischief or great news. Sometimes both.
Kai? Andrew crossed his arms, suspicious. What's with that face?
What face?
That face! You only smile like that when you've done something I won't know whether to kiss or scold. Kai stepped closer, handing him the coffee.
Remember the publisher? That impossible internship?
The one you said had only 2 candidates nationwide? Kai nodded, trying to contain a smile.
I got it.
Andrew blinked once, then again. And then the whole world seemed to slow down just to allow him to stand, cross the distance between them, and pull him into a hug that both knew was still too small to hold all they felt.
You really got it? Andrew asked against Kai's neck, almost in disbelief. They chose you?
Yes, I start next month. It's a paid internship, well paid, which means I can start helping with the bills and, well, there's one more thing.
Andrew stepped back just enough to see his face. But before he could answer, Kai set down the cup and pulled something from his pocket. A small box. Simple. Unmistakable.
Now it's my turn to make a proposal.
Kai said, opening the lid. The ring inside was elegant, discreet, with the same personality as Andrew. Steady, refined, purposeful.
Andrew Kwan,
He said, eyes shining.
will you marry me?
For a moment, time stopped. Neither people nor air moved. Only Andrew's heart, pounding loudly in his chest. Are you asking me to marry you? He managed to say, caught between laughter and disbelief.
I am. And before you say anything about tradition or order, remember, nothing about us has been traditional from the start. And this is the part I didn't want to wait any longer to say, that I want you. Forever. With me, on good days and on days when you forget to water the plants. In your office with the nice view, and on weekends at home in old sweatpants.
Andrew didn't answer immediately. He just pulled him close, kissing him with a mix of urgency and tenderness only he knew how to combine. A kiss that left no doubts. Then, with a hoarse voice and a smile on his lips, he said, yes, with every part of me, yes. Kai slid the ring onto his finger. Andrew looked at the hand for a second, then at the man in front of him. Radiant, vibrant, his. He couldn't resist. He wrapped his arms around Kai's waist and lifted him, pressing their bodies together in a deep, unhurried, unreserved kiss. Kai laughed against his lips before surrendering, legs tightening around Andrew's hips, fingers buried in his hair. The entire city seemed to stretch behind the glass windows. Buildings, sunlight, movement. But inside, atop that office, there were only the two of them, burning in their own time, in their own world. With the ring on the finger, with promises in their eyes, and a whole future ahead.